Okay, before we get started, I will mention that if we would have dipped our tags yesterday when the dye was fresh and warm, the color would have been a little bit more vibrant. So moving forward, if you plan to do this to make any more paper tags after learning how to do this in this class, then yours will probably be much darker, or depending on however you like. So this is going to kind of give more of a watercolor effect. But it'll still be really pretty, just a little bit more light than the examples that I showed you. So I'm just going to dip it, and I'm probably going to hold it in for a little bit longer. I'm going to dip it about halfway. And I'm going to hold it for, I don't know, 10 seconds. And then I'm gonna dip it maybe just half of that and hold it for probably a good minute. So your hand might get a little bit shaky, but try to like rest your finger on the rim of the glass, because if you let your hand get shaky, then you're not gonna have that line, that super straight line, and that variation of the two shades. So try to keep your hand as still as possible and hold it there for a good minute. And you want to kind of just be patient and wait. You don't want to pull it out, take a peek, put it back in, because then you're going to lose that line where you started. So just keep it in for 60 seconds and then pull it out and see. Okay, for some reason I pressed record in the wrong place here. So right now, I thought I had recorded this, but apparently I didn't. Right now, I decided to go and put my mason jar in the microwave for a minute because I was thinking maybe that would help to make the dye a little bit more vibrant. So that's up to you. You can do that if you'd like, but it definitely does change the shade of the dye into more of a mauvey pink. So I will come back, and then on the next video, I am like halfway through dyeing or dipping it with the warmer dye, and you'll end up seeing the difference of shade. Okay, so I'm gonna do one quick more little dip that top line, and it definitely changed the shade just very, very slightly. So that's kind of cool just to know that what heat can do. But that is a little bit darker. I'll show you the difference in the two shades, which is super interesting to me. This is more pinkish, and then this is obviously more like of a mauve. Okay, so now we'll do the other ones. Okay, I'm definitely learning how to teach this as I go, and I'm realizing a couple different things. So to do the next style, like the little diagonal ones, you're gonna need to have a wider mouth of a cup. So I just poured mine into a different cup. So, so for this one, I'm just gonna dip it in diagonally. And for this one, I'm gonna hold this one in for 60 seconds because I want this one to be darker. I want this section to be darker, and then after I hold this for 60 seconds, I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna dip it quickly for like 3 seconds. Okay, now I'm gonna pull it out, and I'm just gonna go like 3/4 of the way up, just for like, I don't know, 3 to 5 seconds. There's that design, that's pretty cute. And then what else can we do? Maybe like a crisscross one. So I'll do this for 60 seconds. Okay, then I'm gonna pull it out and just do this for maybe 30 seconds. There's no rules. There's one. More simple. Personally, I love just the look of that one. That's, if I had to pick, obviously I wanted to show you like a couple different styles, but if I had to pick, I would do all of them just dipped straight down the line. And then hold that there for a minute. If you can have a strong enough arm, I went down 3 like layers. So my arm's about to fall off, but I wanted to do like a variation of 3. So that's really pretty. I love that. Okay, so there are my 6. And really, I think it's interesting to see this first one and then the second one, the difference between the two from when I microwaved it, and just all the different shades. It's really fun to just play around with. Okay, I actually did end up dumping out the dye that I used from the tag, and I stirred up my other dye and I poured some fresh dye in here, and I did microwave this again. So this is like fresh dye, freshly stirred and microwaved for a minute. And so now you're gonna grab your tassel that we made on the first day, and if you did not trim off like the crazy bottom, go ahead and do that. Just like trim it a little bit just to make it, really it's just kind of easier to manage. But we're still gonna be like trimming it even cleaner on the last day. But your tassel should look like this. What you're gonna wanna do is you're going to wanna turn your sink on hot water, and you're gonna wanna get your tassel wet up to about halfway. Don't fully submerge it, don't get it wet the whole way. Just get it about halfway wet with warm water. Okay, now that your tassel is wet at the bottom, you can go ahead and dip it directly into the dye, and I always dip right under halfway, so I don't really go any higher than halfway, just because since your tassel is already wet from getting it wet with warm water earlier, the dye will inevitably bleed up the rope, so you really don't want to dip it too far in. So just right under halfway is good, and you will want to hold it in here, I would say, for a good minute to 2 minutes. I like to kind of bob it up and down because that helps to blend the dye. And when I do end up rinsing it off, it's not going to be as dark as it looks now, so you definitely want to keep it in your cup, dipping it for at least 1 to 3, I mean even up to 5 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to rinse it with cold water. I have found that cold water kind of helps to lock in the color just a little bit better. So I'm going to rinse it on both sides, front and back. And really rinse it out until my water runs clear. And once it's clear, then I'm going to just shake it out or squeeze it out. I'm really trying to not let the upper part get too wet. And then I'm going to shake it and go hang dry. Okay, that's all we have for day 3. So then tomorrow, once our tags are dry, we're going to cut the little hang tags and tie those on. And the tassels take a good amount of time to fully dry. So make sure that it's, first of all, not gonna rain in your area if it's outside, but just let it fully air dry. And then once it's fully dry tomorrow, we're going to finish our tassel, and then I think that's everything for tomorrow. And then on Friday, we're gonna make our rainbow, and we'll be good. I will say that if anyone did end up wanting to dye a t-shirt, you can. I'm just a little bit worried that on the last day, our dye might not be as dark as you might want. So if you don't want to waste a t-shirt, you could definitely go and get more of the colors that I got, I'll just send the link. But if you like that lighter look, I mean, it could be just a really pretty like light pink shibori dye. So totally your call, but I just wanted to throw that out there today on Wednesday to give you some time for Friday. If you did want to dye a t-shirt, we'll be doing that on Friday, okay? Okay guys, see you tomorrow.